What is happening, y'all? Welcome back to another fabulous and cool, y'all. It's cool weather.
Yeah.
Hallelujah. I know you're happy about that.
Very happy. And
finally.
Yeah.
We've got some fall weather. And, I was just talking to Joseph. I don't know if y'all can tell where I am, but I promise you, after this episode, you're never going to forget this dining room. All right. We'll tell them where we are.
Yeah, we're right on Allen Parkway and Don Levy, 3422 Allen Parkway, though.
So
very close to downtown. We're right here.
Easy. Allen Parkway. We're at Flora, which maybe you haven't been here. Maybe you haven't heard of Flora, but this is part of the Big Vibe group. I know you've heard of Copa Osteria. I know y'all have heard of Graffiti Raw. Yeah. This is the same restaurant group, but this is the newest of the concepts, right? Or one of the newest.
Graffiti Raw is the newest, but they open back to back.
Yeah.
So this opened in March 1st, 2022. Mm-hmm. So we're running on our fourth year. So mm-hmm. getting closer to the fifth year, right?
Yeah.
We all restaurateurs look for that fifth.
Yeah.
But so far so good. We're doing great and we love being here.
Yeah. And what's so important, I think, about this restaurant, we go to a lot of restaurants, Joseph. We have a lot of restaurants in this city, more than any big city, in fact, out there. So there's a lot of choices for diners. It is a very competitive game to be in the restaurant business. This is a restaurant that I promise you, as soon as you walk in, first of all, you may not even know that it's here, but it is a purely, it's like an enchantment wonderland.
Yeah. Yeah, we like to think that it's the most beautiful place. The building itself, location-wise, restaurant. You have others that are also very beautiful, though. But we're right in the middle of a forest here with the Lost Lake Cole, and the bayou. We're running on the left side of the restaurant, though. Yeah. So a beautiful place that we're very proud and very happy to have.
Yeah, and not something you find a lot in Houston, much less this close to downtown.
Yeah.
There's also a private room on the other side of that bar that is just as gorgeous, styled a little bit differently. I know there's a lot of private events, but truly a restaurant space. And I know I'm introing it for a long time, but truly a unique restaurant space. But wait until y'all see the food. All right, let's go back on over to the foodie cam. We've got a lot of food because I know y'all think that this is incredible. But wait until you see these dishes. They are colorful, they are vibrant, and we are looking at an inspiration from Mexico because this is true Mexican fine dining.
True Mexican fine dining or true Mexican cuisine, right? Like maybe not necessarily fine dining. You're looking just at a guacamole there, but it's about the ingredients and the quality of the product behind. We are committed to just the best of the best. The avocado there is treated on its own, and we're putting an olive oil there with the avocado. All we do is olive oil, salt, pepper, and we mash it. And then we leave the vegetables on the side and we mix. The server will come to a table and mix whatever you want with it. Mm-hmm. The olive oil is from a winery in Italy, and that's what really takes, the extra notch there and takes the guacamole to the next level.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and, we mentioned the Big Vibe group. So you may have seen on a previous episode of Foodies and Friends on Fox Local, we recently did an episode at Copa Osteria with the owners, JC and Grant.
Yeah.
And these dishes are very inspired by their travels, your travels, very reflective in your experiences throughout your life.
We spend a lot of time together, though. We travel together. They're picking me up in a little bit to go to Round Top. And that's where we find our inspiration, right? From our travels, from our experiences. Restaurants around the country or other countries and even Round Top, like I said, a lot of that comes from there. Grant is very creative, all the decor in the restaurants. JC is a very dynamic woman, and she's always involved with the social aspect of the restaurants and putting us everywhere she can. So I think we make a really good team.
Yeah, it's a good team. I'm ready for Round Top. I know y'all. I'm full.
Yeah, come with us. We're about to leave.
I would love to go with you guys to Round Top. All right, let's go back on over to the foodie cam. We have so much to show you because I know this may be the first time you're seeing the food from Flora. This is a beautiful restaurant. And the dishes are maybe even more beautiful. What are we looking at, Joseph?
Yeah, here again, you're looking at something that is basically street food, right, from Mexico. But this is a good representation of what we do, right? Like the tortilla there is made with our masa, from our masa program, from our own nixtamal, right? We bring a heirloom corn from 3 different regions in Mexico, the white, the blue, and the yellow. We do the nixtamal in-house, soak it for 24 hours, then we wash it, then we put it in the molino, our super old school molino that we have in the kitchen. I love it. And then that gives you your masa. With the masa, we made the tortilla, the taquito. The chicken inside is an air chilled chicken, the best quality of chicken you can find, all white meat. We use a French technique. We sous vide the chicken inside. So you're doing a street food, but utilizing French techniques, utilizing the best of the best ingredients you can get. And the final product is something that is just unbeatable, right? Like it's flawless. It's beautiful.
I love it. And, I have been here in the dining room with these dishes. And I'll tell you though,
they match the atmosphere and the ambience.
That's exactly right. And it's hard to leave here. I mean, it's very, because, and the reason I say that is you can see behind me, there's beautiful lighting, beautiful chandeliers. We're thinking this is fancy restaurant, a little bit fancy, but it's also very relaxed.
Yeah.
Y'all aren't pushing people out the door is what I'm saying.
No. You can come anytime, you can go do your yoga workout and come right after for a margarita and a taco, like we're always welcoming everyone. Our brunch is very diverse. It's very family oriented on the first round of the night. And then certainly on the weekends, you'll see all the sexy dresses and the all that stuff happening, and the pre-drinking before going out and all that fun. So
you're saying that people in Houston like to get dressed up when they go out to nice restaurants?
Absolutely. I think that's something that people do when they come here. And like I said, I think the later round, right? When you have a reservation from 7:30 and up on the weekends, you'll see a lot more of that I'm talking about.
Really?
Yeah, it's fun.
It gets pretty spicy in here.
It has a little bit of that Vegas vibe.
Oh, okay.
But in a good way, not in a cheesy way. In a very Houston, it's transporting though. It's a very transporting place. So I think that if you come for brunch, you can feel that you're in Cabo, and if you come during the week for a business meeting, you'll feel like you're in a fancy restaurant in Mexico City. And if you come at night on a Saturday night, you might feel like you're in a party town.
What happens in that other room on the weekends? Does anything special? Because that's a super fancy room.
The Frida room after Frida Kahlo, and it's painted in the Frida pink, the Mexican pink known as, and also decorated with chandeliers, beautiful carpet, and beautiful views. What happens? Private events.
Can we
right?
talk about that? What
we can talk. We can. Well,
that
room has curtains.
He's kind of avoiding the question a little bit here. Like, what happens in that room?
Well,
it's a beautiful room.
We're called the Big Vibe Group, right? We're the Big Vibe Group. You got to remember that. So whatever you want to happen in that room is going to happen because you pay for it, and then we shut the curtains and give you your tequila and have some fun.
All right. We'll show y'all some pictures of that room. We'll leave that room
beautiful
alone.
room.
We'll go back over to the foodie cam here. We are at Flora with the CEO of the Big Vibe Group, Joseph Prats. What are we looking at?
That's our Charred Octopus. So what we do here, we go back and forth depending on the season between Greek and Portuguese octopus. And we cook it for a long time until it's tender, and then we char it to make it crispy in the outside. It has a salsa macha on top, a combination of chiles and garlic on top. And then you have a roasted sweet potato, homemade chorizo, which is spicy, salty, flavorful. And, chorizo is already good, but this one is like, believe me, top notch. And then you have sour cream there. When you mix all of this, I always tell people, grab a corn tortilla, put a little bit of the sour cream, the chorizo, the octopus, and they habanero green salsa that we have. And it might be the best taco you ever had in your life.
I mean, that's a great take home pack also.
Yeah, it travels really good.
Do you have written instructions for this dish in particular that if I'm a guest, I would like to know that this potentially might be the best take-home taco I've ever
Yeah,
had, Joseph.
you know what? We thought about it. We talked about it multiple times.
Yeah.
Grant had that idea, but I
Ooh.
think we should start printing these little labels where we tell you exactly what to do, because this needs really, you can just open it and eat it though, but
Yeah.
ideally it will be great if it goes back
Yeah.
in the oven for a little bit. Yeah,
Well, for the value too, right? Because
exactly,
diners these days are looking
exactly.
for value. The dollar is a little bit harder to come by these
Yeah,
days for everybody, not
yeah,
just you guys, but
sure.
also the diners. And so, talk a little bit about that in your strategy operating three very successful restaurants, because
Yeah,
I happen to know they're very successful because they just came off an incredibly successful Houston Restaurant Weeks. I should
yeah.
congratulate
Thank you,
you and thank
thank
you
you.
for your support. But talk a little bit about how you make that happen, because y'all are strong. Y'all crushed.
Well, first of all, on that point, we love to support and we love being part of it. And yeah, I like to believe that we're up there and one of the ones that do a
You are.
big thing for it, right? But yeah, it's certainly been challenging the past few years, whatever you want to call it. Let's not get into politics. So, but we managed to keep you. I'm going to keep it this way. Our philosophy is full house, empty plates, and happy faces. Think about that. There are places that are full. There are places that people eat all the food, and there are places where people are happy. But it's hardly, it hardly happens when you have the three of them.
Mm.
How can you keep a place full all the time? Well, service, true hospitality, consistency, quality of the food, atmosphere, ambience, the location, blah blah, whatever you want to call it. But let's remember, Grant started with Tasca, Ibiza, Catalan, Brasserie 19.
Ibiza.
Like all of the things that he's done
Mhm.
in his career, all of the wonderful restaurants that always transport you, that always have this different vibe. I'm very proud to be partners to Grant, because whatever we open, people are going to come. Now, my job is to make sure that we execute, me and the team, the wonderful team that we have,
Mhm.
so we can keep that going, though.
Yep.
And I think we're doing it. I think that's how people come, and then it's on us to not capture them, but keep them coming.
Yep. I think you guys do a great job.
Yeah.
Let's get right back on over to the foodie cam, though. We've got a few more dishes to show you here
Yeah.
at Flora.
This is one of my favorite dishes, though. This is full transparency here. This is inspired from one of our favorite restaurants. I can speak for JC and Grant here. Contramar in Mexico City. Chef Gabriela Camara. She has this tuna tostada there, which is different than this one. It's smaller. Her tortilla is different aioli. But this is our inspiration, our representation of it. It's our handmade masa, and you have a tostada, a crunchy tortilla on the bottom. We put a chipotle aioli in the base, and then we put our yellowfin tuna. Put a little bit of that extra virgin olive oil that I was talking about from the winery in Italy, though, avocado, jalapeno, green onion, some shallots which are crispy there, and microgreens on top. You get a bite of this. It's light. It's rewarding. It's
Yeah.
satisfying. It's good food. When you eat it, you feel good. You're not gonna walk out of Florida feeling like, oh, now I gotta go take a nap.
Sure.
You're gonna feel like you want to go on a walk on the bayou.
I love that. And I love the inspiration behind the dish
Yeah.
too, because it gives diners in Houston a little
Yeah.
taste.
Yeah. Yeah, like that is something that we want to be very transparent about, right? Like if we travel and we find something that we really love,
Mhm.
we're going to try to bring it to Houston and
Yeah.
do our interpretation of it, right? Like
That's what makes Houston so amazing
Exactly,
and
yeah.
the best food city in the world. And, I think I've noticed that with this group in particular, you've got some really elite minds here and some
Yeah.
elite operators and some elite culinary minds. And when you have all those pieces, you get a
Yeah.
place like this, but you're offering the guests an experience. And again, we saw that during Houston Restaurant Weeks. Your numbers were incredible. So much
Yes.
money to the Houston Food Bank, and one of the first, by the way,
Yeah.
to submit and to pay. So thank you so much for that.
We're
But
always happy to send that check.
we're
I
so
must
grateful.
confess, 10 years ago, I was like, oh, well, okay. But now it's like, yes, like that's wonderful, though.
Yeah.
The bigger the check, the better for everyone.
Because everybody won, and it's very reflective in the experience. I've been to Copa, I've been to Graffiti Raw. I actually dine as a human sometimes, and it's just as soon as you walk in, you feel like you're at home. And I think I said that to Grant and JC. She said, well, good, that's what we want. All right, let's go back on over to the foodie cam. Exactly. We've got another dish to show you here. We are at Flora. Oh my goodness, what are we looking at?
Oh, we're aguachile here, no. So you have a hybrid of shrimp aguachile and tuna aguachile there. So the protein and cucumber, onion, and then the sauce that they just pour on top, it's the acid, the lemon, and the jalapeno though that is gonna keep cooking the dish. So it's a raw dish that you eat with tortilla chips, and it's very refreshing summer dish. You know, Flora has its coastal vibe. It's not necessarily one region of Mexico; it's multi-regional, but it does have an important coastal influence.
Now, you all are open for lunch, brunch, dinner. Let's talk a little bit about your schedule.
Well, that is huge. I love talking about that.
Yes.
We're open 7 days a week, lunch and dinner. Think about it, right? The crews leave around 1 a.m. every night, and the crews come at 5 a.m. every morning.
How?
Because Mexican cuisine is very heavy prep. All the salsas and moles and nixtamal for the masa, all of that takes hours and hours and hours. We have to get here very early. I mean, if you walk into that kitchen, our walk-in cooler is tiny. We don't have a freezer, though. It's everything that you eat in this restaurant arrived that same morning.
And it's going to be consumed by the end of the night.
Absolutely.
And so you don't need a big freezer space. You don't need
we don't need a freezer. We don't freeze any. I mean, for the ice.
There's nothing frozen here.
The ice.
Oh, my goodness. All right, let's
the ice for the cocktails.
On over to the foodie cam. We've got a few more dishes before we wrap up here at Flora. Joseph Prats is the CEO of the Big Vibe Group. He is sharing with us.
This is a super winner. It's another ceviche. You have octopus, fish, and shrimp. It's a trio. We call it ceviche trio. The bases habanero mango. You have this tangy, salty, super rewarding again, and very, very tasty dish that you'll also get with tortilla chips on the side. We finish it with olive oil. This was at Gratify, and then we put it here, and it has a great impact. People love it. They keep coming back for it.
Love it. Love it. And there's a drink there that we are going to talk about. We'll talk about this drink too. Do we know? We happen to know what this drink is, Joseph?
Which drink?
The one I'm holding right here.
Oh, that's an Aperol Spritz. I just serve it because, you know, we have a beautiful patio too, and spending time outside. There is a little bit of the Copa influence in this restaurant too. Our chef Davide, that has been there for 9 years, we bring some of that vibe here. So you can, you know, don't feel like coming to Flora is coming to have fajitas and margaritas. With nothing wrong with that, and that's wonderful, and we love it. But you can have a very different experience in a very beautiful building.
This is a very good brunch drink. Tell me about your brunch really quickly.
Brunch right now is a menu. It's not a buffet.
Okay.
And it's a beautiful menu that works really good. We're certainly entering the season where brunch is extremely popular for us. We have live music. And it runs until 3 p.m. on the weekends, so Saturday and Sunday, though.
Yeah.
We are thinking, and we have some plans, and we bought beautiful equipment to start doing these pop-ups when we be featuring this buffet brunch, right? You pay a price and come and enjoy it. But it's in the works. It's in the backup.
I like a brunch buffet.
Maybe in the spring. We're thinking
brunch buffet.
We're thinking the spring. When we do this, is gonna be done. You know,
the Big Vibe way.
Yeah, the Big Vibe way, and it takes time and planning, and the timing.
I'd like to vote. I'm going to vote for brunch, a Big Vibe brunch. I'm there. I'll make my reservation right now. All right, let's go back on over to the foodie cam. Oh my goodness, Joseph, what are we looking at?
This is pescado a la talla, and growing up, I grew up in Cuernavaca, close to Mexico City. Acapulco was just 3 hours away from us, and there was this shack by the beach. Beto Godoy, maybe some people can recognize that name. Super famous presidents, famous people from Hollywood will go and visit there. This guy makes this fish. He makes it with a red sauce. We make it with a green one here. We can make it green or red, both different ways. So this is herbs, garlic on top, and then we put it in the flat grill and finish it in the salamander. And You won't believe it. We had to adapt it to Texas. We're using striped bass for this. You squeeze lemon, grab a tortilla, make a taco. It will blow your mind.
No, I'm giggling and I'm laughing and I'm loving this because you're reminiscing. You've created a dish about an old a dish that you had back then, and
well,
you remember it, and I have those same. We all kind of have those dishes we go back to. I lived in Mexico for 2 years. I think I shared with you, and those fish tacos and the garlic quesadillas, K38, baby. You remember.
You feel like whenever I open my restaurant, I'll put that taco.
And that's what you want to do. And that's the inspiration. So that's what this is.
So Grant and JC always wanted to open a Mexican restaurant. They always talked about it. And I'm from Mexico, so I always want to open a Mexican restaurant. I opened Copa many years ago. I worked Italian restaurants for many years, but a lot of the dishes here are my favorite growing up. The chile relleno is the one that my grandma used to make. And some of the other dishes are from our travels. But this is something, very attached to,
very special
to me growing up. Yeah,
I love that. Yeah. All right, we have another dish on the foodie cam.
This is that chimita steak. If you go around Mexico City, you'll find this. It's a beef tenderloin. It's an 8-ounce beef tenderloin, which is grilled and then finished with a demi-glace and then served over a very delectable mashed potatoes and crispy onions on top, asparagus, and it has a little mole, a red mole on the back. The demi-glace is mixed with a mole, so it's a Mexican dish. It's very popular in Mexico City. So you go around Mexico City and you'll find find out very quickly that it has a very strong European influence. We are half Spanish, and we love the French architecture and the French touch. Chef Mate Sorrilla, which is one of our food directors for the company, she was trained in France and in Spain. She has a lot to do with this program in the polishing and thinking and inventing of the menu and the specials and the seasonal offerings. And Chef Epifanio Rosas, that is always here, and he leads his kitchen. He has been in the Mexican scene in Houston, in Mexican restaurants, very important ones. I will mention names, but he led one of the most important other Mexican restaurant in town for 13 years. And now he's been with us for 5 years with the company, though. So we're extremely happy to have Epi and Mate with us. I mean, these are genius minds.
I had a little moment to myself with this sauce.
Yeah.
This is kind of a remarkable taste.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this is an example of, you can come to Flora, have crispy chicken taquitos and a beer, or you can come to Flora and have a phenomenal bottle of red wine and steak, right?
And
or you can come to Flora. Yes, exactly. Or you can come to Flora and have an Aperol Spritz and a ceviche. So we're multifaceted, right? We offer different vibes.
All right, one more dish here at Flora. I know it is sad, but we're going to eat it. Joseph, what are we looking at?
We're looking at a chile relleno, though. That's stuffed with picadillo, made Mexican traditional dish, though. But we're using brisket. For the protein inside, we're using brisket, and it has peas and carrots. It's a very traditional stuffing, but again, it's about the ingredients and the crafting and the dedication and the attention that we put. One of the things about Flora is the consistency. You're going to come and try something. You can come 3 months after and it will be exactly the same. We strive for that. We work really hard for that.
Yeah, no, I believe it. And I've seen it. All right, y'all. This is truly a dining experience I personally am recommending to everybody, because if you don't know that Flora is here, it is an amazing experience. Jose, you're the guy here, right?
Correct.
So when they walk in, they're going to see you.
Come see me. I'll make it happen. Whatever you want to do, we'll make it happen.
All right, y'all. Come and see Jose. Follow them on Instagram. Make sure also you download the Fox Local app. Watch any episode of Foodies and Friends anytime you like. We'll see you guys on another episode sometime soon.
Thank you so much.
Cheers.